始まるよ。無理にでも。だから、止まってくれ。代表外傷。
Hello, what is up JMA fans, Josh here speaking, and today, finally, we are gonna be taking a look at the REVOLTECH Amazing Yamaguchi My Hero Academia Dabi. Super happy to finally have an action figure of this character. I've been wanting to have a Dabi figure for so long because Dabi is just such a cool character with a very dope looking design, and now, finally, we have him from REVOLTECH. Now, of course, just like Shigaraki, this figure is based off of Season 6, which does mean that it comes with an interchangeable hairpiece to reveal his true identity.
Would you like to know who he really is? No spoilers!
I'm actually very happy that this is the design choice Yamaguchi went for. Don't get me wrong, Zombie Dabi would be pretty dope to have in an action figure as well, but personally, I just really like Dabi in black. This design is my definitive version of Dabi, and I think the darker colors also goes very well with the blue flames, which is why I love it so much. With SH Figuarts now making My Hero figures as well, I can totally see them making his newer design eventually, which, by the way, if you guys still haven't placed your pre-orders yet, you can't get all of them from BigBadToyStore. The REVOLTECH Himiko Toga had just dropped for pre-order, and Dabi, as well as the other Yamaguchi My Hero figures, are already available as well. Links in the description, be sure to check it out after watching this review. Alright, so now taking a closer look at Dabi, as usual, the sculpting on this figure is very detailed. It really captures the menacing and nasty look of this character. I also like how the stitches on his skin are painted silver, which gives off this sort of like a shiny effect to it, which is a nice touch. But I guess the biggest standout of this figure is definitely the jacket. I'm actually surprised that it can be posed all the way down, I mean like in a relaxed state, unlike Shigaraki's cape where it's always stuck at a certain angle, which does take up a bit of space on the shelf. This, on the other hand, feels less clunky, has multiple joints attached that allows for a wide variety of poses, although of course it is going to have some noticeable gappings in some areas, which is unavoidable when it comes to articulated figures. Personally, I don't mind it since you can adjust the jacket to a certain extent where it doesn't look that bad, and I do love the fact that we do get a lot of range for it in exchange for some small gappings, so this is still a win on my book. Now before we go over the accessories, in case you didn't know, this figure did also have an exclusive effect part as well. It's just a little fire effect that can be attached on Dabi's hand, which, in all honesty, would have been pretty neat to have, you know, if you want Dabi to be just chilling with a little fire lit on his hand. But with it being an exclusive, it is such a hassle to get your hands on, so it's an easy pass. Now onto the figure's actual accessories. First off, Dabi does come with a total of 7 swappable faceplates, including the face that is included on his alternate head. For whatever reason, we got the same exact face on both the default head and on this one, even though they could have easily just made one of these because the faceplates are interchangeable between the two. Of course, we also got 2 more of the same face, but this time looking from opposite directions. Really love this one, as Dabi does tend to give you that side eye a lot. Next, we got a very evil looking smiling face, a sadistic laughing face looking downwards, most likely referencing this shot. And then finally, we got this crazy looking face to recreate Dabi's iconic pose, which, by the way, even Deadpool himself made a reference of from his own manga, Deadpool Samurai. And if you're wondering, yes, that is the same manga where Deadpool teamed up with All Might. Now onto the hands. Inside of the packaging, Dabi does come with a pair of fists. He comes with 1 pointing finger hand, a pair of relaxed hands, 2 open palm hands with holes to plug in the effect parts, which we will get into more later. He comes with a pair of specific open palm hands for pressing against his chest, and a pair of hands for plugging into his pockets. I've mentioned this before in my Aizawa review, but I've noticed that when it comes to Yamaguchi figures with interchangeable pocket hands, the wrist pegs do tend to come out along with the hands. However, with Dabi here, as you can see, the wrist pegs do actually stay on pretty well. And they're also not very hard to plug out either, so it seems that they've finally found a great balance for that, which is a nice little improvement that I wanted to point out. Next then we got some awesome looking translucent fire effects, which of course can plug onto his hands. These look super good and I'm really glad that he came with these, but aside from that we do also got two more effect parts that looks very similar to what we've got from Endeavor. These parts can be used in many different ways, like for instance, Dabi has holes around his arms and legs, and you can put these on all over his body as if he's Flame on! You can also attach them together to have him in a pose where he's firing at someone, which is pretty cool. I suggest removing the joints on the other part so it wouldn't get in the way. You only really need the joint plugging in on his shoulder. And then if you want, you can also try plugging all four parts together to create a very long blast of fire. Although of course if you do that, the figure's arm will not be able to carry all that plastic. You can make it work with at least 3 effect parts attached, but yeah, I'm having some Bakugo flashbacks right here, so I think just having 2 on each arm is enough. Last but not least, for the accessories, of course we do get the basic REVOLTECH stand as always, as well as this extra piece to hold the Fush Onomatopoeia effect. Just remove the plastic cover for better experience. It's actually just a reprint of what we got from Todoroki, which, you know, it's not a big deal, it works. Alright, so now it's time for the articulation, and as always you do get a lot of range for the head. Both head sculpts does have a hinge from the back which allows the head to move all the way up and all the way down. Arms can move in and out, elbow bend, wrist rotation, up and down, ab crunch all the way down and back, swivel at the waist, side to side tilt, legs to the side, swivel, can kick forward and back, knee bend, slightly up and down at the boots, ankle rotation, move down, up, and side to side pivot. For some height comparisons, first off here we have Dabi next to the only other villain in the line so far. We've got Tomura, Shigaraki, Awakened version. Next here we have Dabi alongside Todoroki and Endeavor. And I'm gonna try to keep quiet here about spoilers, even though I know pretty much 90% of the people watching already knows. But yeah, I think the scale is pretty good between these 3, although Shoto is a little bit shorter than he should be, because actually, he and Dabi are supposed to be the same height. Pretty crazy, right? I will say though, having Todoroki shorter than Dabi doesn't really look too bad in my opinion. In fact, I kinda like this height difference to be honest, and I don't think people will mind either. I don't like Shoto being shorter than Bakugo though. Anyways, here's Dabi next to more My Hero figures from the same line as well. Here he is next to some Figma, SH Figuarts, Marvel Legends, and the McFarlane Toys My Hero villains. So overall, pretty solid release from Kyoto. While there are some minor issues with the flames being a little too heavy at times, everything else about this figure is pretty much great. The sculpting looks amazing, articulation is great, and he comes with very cool looking effect parts. So there's really nothing more I could ask for from a Dabi figure. It's awesome. Is it the best figure in the line though? In my personal opinion, I still think Endeavor is the best figure of them all. This is probably like a close second or third. I'm trying to think between him and Kirishima because I think the Kirishima figure is really good too. But with that said, of course I totally recommend this figure to any My Hero fans out there. He is so much fun. But now let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this figure? Will you be getting it, or are you gonna be waiting for SH Figuarts to release their version? For those of you asking about Fig Film Heroes, yes, episode 13 is still happening. I'm just struggling to make time for it because there's all these new figures coming out and I've been trying to keep up with the reviews. I'm actually thinking of just releasing 1 or 2 minutes of clips per episode, and then once everything is done, I'll just compile them all together into one video and then release it like that. I think I might just do that to be honest. But anyways, that's it for my Dabi review. Thank you all so much for watching and I hope you all have a great day. Peace out.